it's Jahar. Welcome back to my channel. I am wearing a Frozen shirt. Just thought I'd throw that out. My only issue with this shirt is that Kristoff is not on it, but other than that, I do like it because Kristoff's my second favorite. Anna is my first. Just throw that out there because Frozen. So I know I already made a Seekers book, and it seemed to have done pretty well on this channel, and it is one of my all-time favorite books. I don't know, because I do love the Harry Potter books, but since it's already my favorite movie, I'm going to go ahead and say Seekers is my favorite book. Just because I can have something different for my book. I don't know. But I do love Seekers so much. And when I talked about the 12 books there are in the series, I kind of threw in a little bit about each book. But I thought, what if I talked about each book separately, kind of go more into detail, give you a glimpse if you want to actually read it. I might not do them all in a row, but I will do them all probably pretty soon because I really like this concept and I do absolutely love Seekers. This is the first book. Seekers, the quest begins. This is Kalik. That's Kalik too. There's like 12 books, and like they all take turns being the main bear on that one. Kalik is first because she's the best. She's my favorite. Then that's Tokolo right here. And then Lusa is the black bear right here. I'm a little upset that Udrak is not on here. I mean, each chapter is someone's point of view. Like, let me show you. Okay, chapter 1, it says Kalik, because this one's her point of view. And then chapter 2, if I can find chapter 2. I forgot how long these chapters can be. Don't let me that discourage your book, because I absolutely love it. Okay, chapter 2 is Lusa. Oh, I thought chapter 2 was Tokolo. Oh well. And then chapter 3 is Tokolo. And then they go back to Kalik. Sometimes if it's like a big two-part kind of chapter, then they might do Lusa, then Lusa again. But that's very few times does that, but only if it's like, if they're going through something big, I think, is when they do that. But, Kalik's my favorite, which I mentioned. I'm upset that Udrak is not on here, on the cover. He doesn't even have a point of view until, I think, the 6th book, which is also, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'll get into that when I get onto the 6th book. Because he is a main character on the first 6 books. But I guess he wasn't in the first book, really, because I don't think he even shows up till the middle of the book. Because after Tokolo is alone, he meets Udrak. But by the 2nd book, he's definitely a main character, so he should at least be on the cover of the 2nd book and start having his own point of views. But he doesn't, which sucks. And he's on a lot in the books 7 to 12 too, even though he's no longer a main character. They still mention him a lot, and they can talk to him. I'll get to that when I get to that half of the series. Okay. In this book, they all are on their separate journeys. They don't even meet yet. Kalik is the last one to meet the group. But this book is mostly about their separate journeys to show you what they're going through and stuff. Kalik is living a very happy life. She has her mom and her brother. Her brother and her play a lot. And her mom tells them stories that she loves to hear over and over again. She's very kind, but if you get on the wrong side, then she will bite your head off. Not literally, but you know what I mean. And she's someone you want to have as an ally, not an enemy. But she's very kind and good-hearted. She's definitely the heart of the group, you know. Tokolo is not as happy yet. See, him and Kelly are the ones that actually been through the most. I mean, Lusa and Yujak end up going through more once they get onto this journey, but Kalik and Tokolo went through a lot in childhood, which Lusa and Yujak really didn't at first, not till, the start book. But with Tokolo, he has his mom and his brother, but his brother is very sick. And Tokolo always feels like his mom's always doting over the brother because he's very sick and ill and weak. And Tokolo's very aggravated by that. He doesn't get the attention he thinks he deserves, which he does deserve. He deserves more attention, but you can kind of understand why she's all over Toby. But, yeah. And Lusa lives in what they call a bear bowl. One thing I love about this author is that she really gets into the characters. She writes about animals, but she really gets into their sense. Like, she gets into big detail. Sorry, that's my phone. She gets into big detail, and she also really gets into their sense. Like for this one is about bears. So the bears call humans flat faces because compared to us, we do have a pretty flat face besides a little bump for our nose. But with them, they have this big snout, so we're flat faces, which I really love that they do that. And Aaron Hunter, on the Warriors book, which is about cats, they call us two legs, right? Something like that, because we have 2 legs, they have 4. Well, same with bears, but bears actually do stand up on 2 legs, as you can tell in this book. Tokolo is at the moment. But, she lives in the bear bowl, which is basically a zoo for us flat faces, if you will. She lives a pretty happy life with her best friend Yogi, and her mom Aisha, her dad King. I never did mention Tokolo's mom is Oka, just throw that out there, and Kalik's mom is Nisa, and her brother's Takik. There, now you know all the bears you need to know of for now. But and then so she lives a happy life, a really happy life. And she also, what was that one girl's name? I forgot what that one bear's name was, but she tells them stories a lot. Let's see. Yeah, she has fun at the bear bowl, and it's like on the tip of my tongue. What's her name? King is kind of, how do I explain King? He used to be a wild bear, but when these 2 people caught him and brought him there. So Lusa was, and I think that's where he met Aisha. It never really explains if Aisha was born in the bear bowl or came as well. But they did get together and have Lusa. She does not have any siblings. He doesn't like to talk about his wild days, but Lusa really wants to know what's beyond the bear bowl, what's out there. But she wants to know, but she's not like that eager about it yet. Now back to Kalik. An orca attacked, and so Nisa was trying to save her and Takik. They were going from a glacier to another glacier, and she swam Kalik over there and then when she went back in the water to go get Takik, that's when the orca attacked, and there was fog, so Takik couldn't see Kalik and Kalik couldn't see Takik, but he couldn't even see his mom. All he could was hear her screams, and Kalik watched her mother die before her very eyes, trying to protect her and her brother, and it was really sad. So childhood trauma right there. But then she gets separated from Takik. So her entire journey in this book is to find him. That's the only thing she cares about. She just lost her mother, so she has to find her brother. She has to. He's the last person she cares about, last person she knows, and she feels lost. And that's the only thing keeping her sane right now, is the mission to find her brother. Then Tokolo, Toby died, so Oka got all upset, obviously, and apparently you find out that she had a litter of a couple cubs before Tokolo and Toby, and they died as well. So she basically told Tokolo that he's gonna die, so she wants him to get away from her, and because she can't watch another cub die. So she basically, but she didn't want to say the last part because then he would stay, and he'll feel sorry for her. So she basically told him that she didn't want him around, and she abandoned him. That kind of made him more, how do I explain it? That made him, he's not really mean. He is very hot-headed, but yeah, I think he's always had that. I wouldn't call him mean. I mean, at times he can be mean, but he's just, he built these walls because of that, you know? And I think that's another reason why I love Kilik too. She went through just as much as Tokolo, maybe even more, because she watched her mother die, and then she lost her brother. Tokolo, yes, lost his brother, but his mother abandoned him. It was sad, but it would have been worse if he watched her die. You know, like Oka watched Toby die and her cubs of before. But she hasn't built this wall. A lot of people do when they go through something, they don't want to get hurt again, so they built this wall, and Tokolo did. And Kilik, even though every inch of her body was telling her to build this wall to never get hurt again, she didn't. She continued to care, and she continued to have hope, and sometimes that can be harder than not having hope and not caring, but in the end, in my opinion, is more worth it. No pain, no gain, right? But and I think I feel most bad for Kilik for that reason, and because she is the last one to find the group, so she spends most of her time alone trying to find Takik, and she meets those bears right around the time she does find Takik. But she is alone because Tokolo finds Udrak, and then they meet Lusa, and then I don't even think they meet Kilik until the middle or maybe closer to the end of the second book. So she's alone for all that time, completely alone. I mean, she did care for someone. I think it's in this book, or is it in the next book? I think it's this book. I think it's the end of this book. But anyways, Tokolo, so Lusa, they bring in a new bear, in a bear bowl, and she's in the grizzly bear cage, obviously, all the grizzly bears together. Then across from her are black bears, or brown bears. She's a black bear. The brown bears count. Okay, the black bears are all together. Brown bears, polar bears. Well, they call them white bears. They don't call them polar bears. They only say white. They don't say grizzly either. They say white, brown, and black. She starts talking to Oka, because that's the bear they brought in. And Oka tells her about Tokolo, how much she wishes she could tell him how much she loves him. Oka does die in the bear bowl, which is really sad. Well, I wouldn't say it's really sad. It's not as sad as Nisa's death. Or one other bear, which makes me cry. But, I'm going to get to that when I get to that book. And Lusa decides to make it her dedication to find Tokolo. I mean, she's always been curious about the outside world, and now she has a reason to actually go investigate. So she pretends to be sick so the bears will take her away, and then she escapes, and she manages to find her way out of the bear bowl. But she's never been in the outside world, so she doesn't know anything about it. So it's kind of fun watching her all confused. You know, I mean, see all these trees and all these things, and she actually likes flat faces because they cared for her entire life, fed her. But most bears like Kilik and Tokolo and Udrak, they aren't I don't think Yujak really has a problem with flat faces, but Kalik and Tokolo, especially Tokolo, I'm gonna stress that, especially Tokolo has issues with flat faces. Because, you know, they hunt bears and stuff with their pointy sticks. But Tokolo end up, but so it's kind of fun watching her try to figure out the world on her own. You know, I mean, she was alone. She didn't bring Yogi or her mom or her dad, who has actually been out in the wild. She didn't bring anyone, so she has to figure this out on her own. How this world works. How she has to learn on her own about other animals that aren't as nice as the ones at the bear bowl, or flat faces that could care less about feeding bears like they do, you know. But so, and then Kalik has to go on this journey. But she is captured by flat faces. I think they were taking her to a bear bowl. I'm not completely sure. Because they never did reach the destination. She meets another white bear, on the, what did they call it? Metal bird, I think is what they called it, a metal bird. Her name was Nanook. And she kind of took care of Kalik while they were on the metal bird. All birds fly. Well, most bears fly. Okay, metal bird is what they call it. And they kind of she kind of I think she mentioned that her cubs died, but she kind of took Kalik under her own wing and kind of helped her because Kalik was alone. She just watched her mother die. She has no idea where her brother is, and and Nanook's all alone. So she kind of helps Kalik, you know, feel better in that sense, and Kalik helps Nanook too. But then the metal bird crashes, and Nanook does not make it, which is really sad. Kalik has to watch her die as well, and she leaves the metal bird behind because she's also going through a lot too, not just because she's alone or because she watched her mother die, but because she can't find her brother, but also because she's never been on the ground before. She's only been with ice, snow, water. She's never been on the hard ground with grass. Her mother did tell her about it because during the melting sea, white bears do have to leave for a little while and try to formulate in the real world before they go back to their world. That makes it sound really weird. Real world. That is the real world, just different than the other world, I guess. Okay, so Kalik has to figure out how, kind of like Lusa, you know, she's figuring out what the wild is like. It's so much different than the bear bowl, and this is somewhat similar because she has to deal with all these trees and the grass and the dirt, and she doesn't know, and berries she's never tried. You know, she's never had land animals for food. She's only had like seals and fish. But on here she gets to try other animals she's never tried. And but yeah. So like I said, they're all going through a lot. I just think Kalik and Tokolo, especially Kalik, do go through more than Lusa or Yujak. But Tokolo ends up finding meeting Yujak. And Tokolo does not want Yujak around at all. He's a different kind of bear. He's a brown bear, but he can shapeshift, which makes Tokolo like, are you a bear at all? And Yujak's like, I like to think I am, but he doesn't remember anything about his past, his life, his family. He doesn't remember anything. And kind of like amnesia, like a serious case of amnesia. And Yujak, let's see. I didn't realize it took that long for Lusa to leave. Because right here it says, I will find you, Tokolo, I promise. So that was right after Oka died, I think. Yeah. And that's chapter 17. So, I mean, she hasn't even left the bearable yet. Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I guess she wasn't in the wild as long as I thought before she met Toklo. But she still had to figure out things on her own before she did run into him in Utrecht. Let's see. Yeah, here. Okay, I found it. I didn't think I would be able to find it. This is when he meets Utrecht, right? I like Utrecht. He's like, him and Luce are actually a lot similar, just like Kilik and Toklo are a lot similar. That's why they both had so much. Although, because see, Kilik and Toklo are both leaders, and so they both butt heads a lot because they both want things their way, and they're so used to being alone that they don't know how to work together. But then Luce and Utrecht are the smaller and kinder, and they are better at compromising and working together. Utrecht looks for signs because he believes that all their destinies were intertwined for a reason, and they're all looking for a place where the bears can just all be together in harmony, where food never dies and they can live full lives. And he can find where they're supposed to go next through little signs, and he eventually ends up, I don't remember which book, but eventually ends up teaching Luce some of these signs and how to heal with everyday items you find outside, how to heal little wounds with things, so that when Utrecht is gone, Luce was able to still do that stuff for them. I think the reason why Toklo did accept Utrecht, because he didn't want anything to do with Utrecht at first, was because it says, well, if that's where Toby's trying to go, he hasn't gone there yet. Oh wait, no, that's not it. But I do think Toby has something to do with it, because he is alone, and he did care about his brother, even though his brother annoyed him with how weak he was. He didn't want anything to do with Utrecht, but he finally agrees to let Utrecht go with him on his journey, or him on Utrecht's journey. But I should really reread these books. I think I read them recently. Kilik's still looking for Takik. She left Nanook, who's dead. Luce is still looking for Utrecht. Stella, I think that was her name. The other bear I was telling you, I can remember the bear bowl. Oh, she hasn't even left yet? Are you sure? This far in the book? I thought she was in the wild for a little bit before she met Toklo. I thought I read these books not that long ago. Yeah, I think this is when she leaves. I guess she wasn't in the wild as long as I thought. I don't know why she thought she'd ever find Toklo. I mean, this wild is huge, but it's not like she knew that. I don't think she knew how big the wild really was. She just knew her little comfort zone in the bear bowl. But she did manage to find him. But she was also very optimistic. You know? So is Utrecht. Toklo and Kilik were a little bit more realistic, but see, that's why I like, well, another reason why I love Kilik, because I see, people always say, when someone's like, well, when someone's talking about optimistic and pessimism, they'll be like, well, you're a pessimist. It's like, no, it's a realist. It's like, you can be an optimist and a realist. I am. I have hope. A lot of it. But I also know what the world can be like out there, you know? So, that's kind of like Kilik. She has hope, and she does believe, but she also knows what the world is like, because she experienced it firsthand, and she watched something kill her mother before her very eyes, and she saw Flatfaces abduct her and other bears, taking them to who knows where in a metal bird which she's never seen before, and which is basically kidnapping in the bear world. I don't think Flatfaces see it that way, but in the bear world, then yes, it's kidnapping. But which is basically what they did to King, but it didn't create Lusa, so but Toklo's on a journey with Toklo's on a journey with Udrak. Lusa's in the wild looking for. She's trying to find what's good in the wild right now, like what to eat, what's good to eat, what's good, because she's and she loves, she's not really good with the wild yet, and Kalik's not really good with this part of the wild yet. She's mused to her part, her little area, so they're both experiencing things they never thought they'd experience. Well, actually, Kalik knew she would have to. She just thought her mother and brother would be with her to help her, because her mother had seen it before, once before. I think she said she was a cub last time she saw what the world was like outside of the melting sea, but maybe if the Flatfaces keep annoying me, I'll eat him. That's Tokolo for you. Yeah, Udrak's telling him about herbs, which can help. So, yeah, this book mainly is about the bears going on their own journey, and you don't really meet Udrak until he meets Tokolo. And at first you don't know who this cub is, but then he ends up saying, "I'm Udrak," obviously introductions, and then you get more of an insight on who he is as he's hanging out with Tokolo, and he immediately clicks with Lusa. I love their friendship, and Lusa does meet them at the very, very end of the book. Okay, that's the second book. How some books like good insight on the second book. Oh wait, that's not the second book. That's one of the warrior books. Okay, this is the inside of the second book. And this one starts with Lusa, because this one started with Kalik, and then went to Lusa. This one starts with Lusa, and then I don't remember what the third book starts with. Probably Tokolo. Let's see. Let me find. Tokolo is the last one for this book. Okay, that's Lusa's chapter. I'm looking for Kalik. Okay, so yeah, it ends with Kalik and Nanook. So I thought it was this book. And that's probably how it ends, with it crashing. Yeah, see. Kalik, Nanook murmur, nudging her. Kalik, wake up. It's time to go. Just a little insight on the book. See. But we're flying, Kalik whimpered. Bears don't fly. It's so cold and we're so high. And how is this happening? That's when Nanook explained. So I guess I don't think it crashes to the second book then, does it? Oh, yes it does, because right here it says it's showing her saying goodbye to Nanook. It is time for me to join the ice spirits, because they all believe their own thing about what happens when someone dies. Black bears believe they go in the trees. Brown bears believe they go into the river. And then at first, and then somehow, I don't remember exactly what happened, but somehow they end up going into the sky or stars, whatever. And white bears believe they go into with the ice spirits in the ice. They become the ice. But in the end, it shows her saying, "Goodbye, Nanook," she murmured. "I'll go to the place of endless ice." That's what she was looking for. Just like you said, and maybe if that's where the spirits dance, I'll find you there as well. So it's really sad. So it ends, because even though they're all going through their own crap in this book, at least the other bears kind of are doing a little bit better at this point, even if Toklo won't admit it. But he does have Udrak. He needs Lusa, and but Kalik, she's still all alone, and she just lost someone else. She just watched someone else die. So, yeah, and she's still all alone, and she has no idea even where to begin to find the Endless Eyes. So, yeah, so the last 2 chapters is about Lusa and Toklo and Udrak meeting. Well, Udrak and Toklo have already met, but chapter 29 is Lusa, and it shows her point of view when she meets Toklo. And then chapter 30 is when it's Toklo's point of view of his point of view meeting Lusa. Udrak was really happy about it at first. Well, he stayed happy about it. He believed she was a part of their journey now, just like he is when Kalik joins. I think she finds out that's Toklo by the end of the book. Yes. She's like, "You're Toklo," she said. "Yes," he said. The black bear scrambled out from underneath him because he kind of jumped on her, pummeled her, thought she was an enemy. And he's like, the black bear scrambled out from underneath him and got to her paws. "I'm Lusa," she said. "I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you." That's how it ends. "I'm Lusa. I've been looking for you." That's how the book ends. And you're like, the entire time, wait, she just met him. That's how you're going to end it? I mean, how does he feel about it? I mean, what does she say to explain why she's been looking for him? How is he going to react? But I didn't get into details about every little thing because I want to leave some mystery for you guys to find out. I just kind of said the majority of it. Well, not even the majority, but a good portion of it, the sense of the book, so you guys kind of get a feel of what the first book is like. Seekers, the quest begins. The first book for Aaron Hunter. I should probably read the summary first. Next time when I do the next book, I will. It says, 3 bears from different species, black, polar, and grizzly, are separated from their families when they're just cubs. Each determined to survive in the harsh wilderness, they find themselves brought together on a perilous journey, guided by a shape-shifting grizzly cub whose destiny will fuck them all. Fate is about to change these bears' lives forever, bringing them amazing adventures and unexpected suffering, and finally setting their paws on a path toward a future they cannot yet imagine. Yeah, that's the book. You should definitely read it. I highly recommend it. Favorite book. I don't know which one out of the series is my favorite. It's not the first one because I like it better when they've already all met. So it's probably not the second one either. I know that much. But I do love every book from the series. There's 12 in all, so there's going to be 12 of these videos. I'll make a playlist just for Seekers since I already have 1 book and then I'm making 12 more. So read it. This is awesome. But Aaron Hunter is actually a really good author, and I still need to finish her Warrior series. I've read the first 12 and there's 36, and I'm pretty sure she's planning on making 6 more at the least. She might make more after that, I don't know yet. But like how I see Seekers, I think I might have mentioned this in my last video, but basically it's like the way I see it is that it's kind of like a TV show or a series but in book form, because like there's 6 books and I see it as seasons the way it is, and there's 6 books in each season. Like the first 6 books is one storyline, and then the second 6 books is another storyline, same characters and the same. It's pretty much the same storyline, just a little bit different, like seasons of a TV show. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see it. That's so it's like a series, and this is season 1, and then season 2. There's only 2 seasons, and I don't think she's gonna make it anymore. But with Warriors, there's like 6 seasons. And I think she's supposed to be making the 7th. I've only read the first 2 seasons. and I really hope to read the other ones. I only first season. I'm going to buy the second season. I'm going to reread those two and then finally read the other ones, which I've been wanting to do for a while. And there's also a bunch of mangas for these books. I don't do mangas. They're kind of like anime in my opinion, which I'm not an anime fan. And there's also special editions for the Warrior books. I don't think there's special editions for these books. I would love if she made some, but yeah. So that's all for this video. Please like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on if this is a good book. If this sounds like a good book for you to read. I highly recommend it, so please give it a try. I absolutely love it. So, and I will tell you, I'll give you an insight to the next book whenever I do. I don't know when. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to make one more video today. Probably not right now, but today. And then, I'm off today and tomorrow, so I'll make 2 videos tomorrow. One of them might be the second book, no guarantees. But, yeah, so comment if you think this sounds like something you would want to try, you know. I'm sure you'll be able to find it at a library or a bookstore if you end up liking it and want to buy it. And comment if you already have read it and your feelings on it. And who your favorite character is, your favorite bear, and your insights on the book as well. Okay, so that is all, and I will see you later.